Dirk Laeremans. I have been in China for 15 years now. I first came for a big multinational, have then stayed for another big multinational, and about 3 years ago I decided to start for myself. That initiative 3 years ago has now resulted in what Orientas is today, with about 15 people here in Beijing and about 7-8 people in the rest of the world. And I'm very happy that I made a step away from the big international company to starting up my own venture here in China. I have a small company and I'm the boss, which means you basically do almost everything. Especially in the beginning when you're with 1 or 2 people, you do everything from IT to hiring to all kind of administration. As time goes by, your organization gets built. You add more people, and one by one you can delegate your work to your people. And seeing that organization grow is very interesting. But still, when you start for yourself, you do everything from picking up the telephone to programming the computer to looking for office space. Everything is yours until at the end of the day you hope that you find people to do these things for you. But still, I am very happy with even taking up the telephone when there's only a few people in the office. It's a job that goes from A to Z, and that is very pleasant as an entrepreneur. Challenging part is almost everything. I mean, from finding the cash to start up, to finding a good office, to negotiate with partners. The challenging part of an entrepreneur is that you don't have all these means and resources that you used to have when you worked for a big company. You couldn't do what you want, but at least if you want to do something, somebody gave you the money, off you go. Here, it's all very limited resources, especially in the beginning, so you have to try to do a lot with very little means. And that is also one of the reasons why our company would work, for example, with more interns than an established company would. Because we need the work done and we need people that can do the work. So we use interns and we've been very happy with them. Because in our company, they can do much more responsible work than they could ever do in any other company where they just can serve the coffee and make copies. Well, Chinese investments into Europe or into the whole world basically are relatively new. Chinese have always been very reluctant to invest anywhere outside of China because of the risk they didn't know. Things start changing. People like to diversify their portfolio, people want to get out. There is 100,000 reasons why some people would like to invest. It has to do with education of the children, it has to do with lifestyle. So people start discovering that there is life outside of China. People start discovering that it's worthwhile developing, it's worthwhile exploring, it's worthwhile learning. And we see that generates an awful lot of interest to invest abroad. On the other hand, a lot of people don't really know what's abroad and how to invest and how to live in Italy, how to live in Spain, what's nice about Brussels, what's nice about Amsterdam, why would I do this, why would I do this? This is 2,500 questions that people ask. So the industry is very much in the beginning, it's exploring, and it's a bit like a jungle. The market is growing fast, very fast, and many companies, big companies, small companies, like myself, see that opportunity and try to find a way how to do business. Well, I've been in China 15 years now, and I've seen China develop from a place where you had hardship to come by to a place where it's an absolute pleasure to live, especially for young people. When I graduated, of course China was totally not in the picture. I went to South Africa to have some adventure. China is exactly in this spot where you can go and have life without any problems. And still it's adventurous enough for young people to be challenged. It's not like US where everybody's the same and everybody knows. It's still a challenge. We here have interns coming from South Africa, from Belgium, from France. We have had interns from Germany. Some of them, as fresh as you could have them, never left their home country, afraid of the big Chinese thing, and they all go home with these eyes of happiness and say, wow, what an adventure. So China is in this place that I would really recommend my own children to come to and explore a little bit of the other side of the world. I've long doubted when I graduated myself, should I do something on my own, should I become an entrepreneur? And then at that stage I said, way too difficult. Let me start in a big enterprise. I made a career in a big enterprise. I became an expat, a well taken care of expat. But then it starts itching, and you want to do something. You want to do something for yourself. You want to show you can do it better than the big enterprise. And you want to start again. For a young person, that is sometimes difficult. I found the experience I've learned in the big enterprise to be of extreme high value when you start moving out yourself. I found that what you learn in the big enterprise is useful. You know what's happening, you know what they're doing and what they're doing, and there's a lot of mistakes that you will not make because you've done the big enterprise. On the other hand, if you stay in the big enterprise too long, you kind of get rusty. You forget this entrepreneurial skill because big enterprise kill entrepreneurial activity. They don't like it. So somewhere you have to find a point in time where you say goodbye big company, let me become an entrepreneur. I think the advice I would give to me is don't underestimate yourself. Sometimes when you underestimate yourself, you're not trying the things that you should be trying. You're not being as aggressive because you want to shun the risk. Don't underestimate yourself. You have a lot of potential. Your task is to develop it, to look for the situations that allow you to learn. That's what I've always done, but in some cases I find myself when looking back, that you stayed too long doing this. Why didn't you try that? Why didn't you try that? But hey, if I could do it all over again, I think 95% I would do over again the same way that I've done it. Especially in the last 3 years running my own company, have been so immensely rewarding that I say, well, I'm very glad I've taken that decision to work in a big company, to learn all the skills that there are, and at a certain point in time say, no, I'm ready, let's do something. There is many stories about any MBA, and you have good professors, you have bad professors, you have in-between professors. You're trying to learn, and that's why you have the MBA. And I would say the MBA experience is 10% whatever they teach you, is 90% interaction with your co-students, is living in another place, is getting challenged in areas that you didn't even know that exist. So again, the value of an MBA is only 10% of what you actually learn. Is 90% of everything which is around it. And now, like anybody, I'm using my MBA network for business reasons. Not that I did the MBA for that reason. Don't do MBAs for those kind of reasons. You do an MBA because you want to develop yourself, you're interested. And then again, the main lesson I remember was one of our best professors, who in his last class said, I hope you had fun, and I hope you remember that with the MBA you have now earned the right to do a job you like. And I would say that's the reason why you do an MBA, so that you do not need to end up in a job that you don't like. If you go with that mentality, you will be much more relaxed about career and salary and this and that, and trying to achieve your goals. If you try to find a job in which you feel yourself good, you will perform well. And that is, I think, a big lesson from any MBA. If you would ask my people, I think they would very much say, have fun. Whatever people go and do, if they are to go out on business trip, if they go on a meeting, I always tell them have fun. Life is too short to work in an environment where you don't feel comfortable.